Yo, ladies and gentlemen and ladies, welcome back to the channel for another video. Today's video, we're gonna go over the Pelsee Mirror Dash Camera, and we're gonna install it in the 2021 Honda Civic Type R. First things first, let's open up the box and see what's inside. Here's the mirror itself. And here's a couple rubber straps with some foam stoppers. This thing also comes with a GPS. Here's the rear camera, panel tool, and then the front wire with the cigarette lighter adapter for the accessory. Something different in this video. The walkthrough of the mirror and the mirror footage first and the installation last. So if you're here for the installation, you're gonna have to wait till the end of the video. If you enjoy it this way, let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let's get to it. All right, let's turn her on. Okay, so that's what it looks like out the front view. We have our GPS over here. Looks like we're facing north and we're not moving, so we are at 0 miles per hour. Now you can change that to kilometers if you're in Canada or you're in a place where you have kilometers. We'll get to this little voice control here in a little bit. Now, one of the coolest parts about this camera is if you want to move it up and down, all you do is touch the screen and you can go down or you can go up. Now, this is the full field of view of the camera. This is what you will see when you take the SD card out and put it on your computer. Now, it does not move left to right, but it does show pretty far over to the left, which I'm okay with. So you touch the screen, we're gonna stop the recording. This is the home button, so we'll get to that last because there's quite a bit there. Here's your mic on and your mic off. Then you can go to recording. Now there's recording. I wanna stop that recording. And now that we hooked the back camera up, we can see the back camera. This one, you can also touch it, the screen, and it moves up and down to the whole field of view of the camera. Now, if you want to swap back and forth through cameras, you can do that pretty easily. Touch the screen, swap to the left. There you can see both of them at the same time. Swap to the left again, and it's the front. Swap, swap, swap. You can also do that by touching this F here, then the R, and then the F and the R does the same exact thing. Now, if you want to take a picture, click that, takes a picture. If you hit this play button, it'll take you to all your recordings. As you can tell, it's playing everything that I just said to you a little bit ago. So we'll pause that. This goes to your pictures. There's the 2 pictures that I've taken. And then this here will go to your locked footage. And then we'll go back to the main screen. And then again, if you want to lock your footage, click that little lock button right there. And these blue signals, this tells you what you have plugged in. As you can see, the GPS is plugged in, the rear camera is plugged in, the SD card is plugged in, the mic is turned on, and the battery is charging. So we're going to tap the screen, we're going to hit that home button, and here you have driving recording, video playback, settings, and system info. System info, very generic, just the software and the model. Settings, this is where you're going to want to play around with the most. You have record settings, display settings, detection settings, storage settings, system settings, and GPS settings. For recording settings, we have watermark information on, microphone on, back recording on, anti-flicker at 60 Hertz, resolution at 1440. Now, the only other resolution is 1080p. So we're going to keep it at 1440p. In display settings, you have stream media, which I have turned off. Split screen, I have turned on. Automatic backlight, I have turned off. Screen sleep is set at 1 minute. Screen protector is off. Display time is off. I don't really need all that on the mirror, but we'll turn it on just so you guys can see it. We'll turn all this stuff on. We'll leave that at 1 minute. So here you go. You have your date and time. Let's see if it stays there whenever the mirror goes black. Oh, so it doesn't. So that's kind of cool. We did display settings, so we're going to go to detection settings. Parking recording is off. Now, if I do park somewhere like in a city or something, I will probably turn that on. Not sure if it works or not, but I would probably turn it on. Time lapse is off. Collision sensitivity is high. I have that high because in this car, when I shift the second gear on a romp, it just wants to kick the detection off. At least it did on my old dash camera. I'm not sure about this one yet. We'll see what this one does. And then the power supply mode is a USB charger. Storage settings, this is where you go to format your card. Already been done. Total of 58 gigabytes left. It is a 64 gig card. Don't really need a bigger card than that. System settings, I'm at 12 hours a day. Speed unit is miles per hour. Again, you can change yours to kilometers if you live in a place where you have kilometers. Your time zone, language, English. And then you have your time settings. You have your year, you have your month, you have your day, and then your time. So I'm filming this at 7:18 p.m. on September 30th, 2022. Volume is high. And then you can turn everything back to factory settings if you so choose to. And then if you want to know where I am, here you go. That's where I am. And then last but not least, we have the voice settings. So you're going to click right here. These are your voice settings. Show front camera, open screen, open recording, show rear camera, turn off display, turn off recording, lock the video, and take a picture. Now, there it goes, I took a picture. Now, the only ones that I've noticed that really work is the take a picture, the show the front camera, and show the rear camera. For some reason, it didn't change. So, show the front camera, show front camera. There we go. Show rear camera, stop recording. Turn off recording, turn off recording, turn off display, turn off recording, turn off recording. It seems like some of them work at times, some of them don't. You just got to remember exactly what to say. Turn off recording. Like for some reason that one doesn't want to work. And that's okay, I'm not really too worried about it. Turn off display. Show front camera. Maybe you just got to say a little slower. But that's kind of cool, the voice stuff. I don't really care about that. I can just literally just hit the button and be good. Okay, so that's it for the camera. I'm going to head home. It is dark outside now that it gets dark at 7 o'clock now. So we'll be able to see what it looks like at night. And then tomorrow morning, I'll hop back in the R and we will take it for a spin and see what it looks like during the daytime. So with the display off, it does keep the time and date up on the mirror, which is, I don't know, preference, I guess. Maybe I'll leave it up there for a little bit. Maybe I'll turn it off. Okay. All right, let's go for a spin. Here's some night footage out the front camera. I'm actually very impressed with it. I did not do any color correction to any of this footage. This is all raw. The lighting, especially at night, looks really good. I thought the oncoming traffic lights would be worse. And then we get to the rear camera at night. A little bit fishbowl-ish, which is to be expected. Again, no color correction. This is just raw footage. Looks good, except for the glare from the people behind me. Their lights are pretty bright. Until they get closer, you know, it's a little grainy, but it's to be expected. It's probably only running at either 720 or 1080. And you see a little bit too much of the trunk. I could have angled that up a little bit more. Here's a look out the front during the day. Looks wonderful. It does bounce around a little bit. I have that problem looking out the mirror too. It's kind of like I have subwoofers in the back, which I'm used to, so it doesn't bother me too much. So I did adjust it just a little bit while it was on the mirror, and it took a little bit of the vibration away, but not too much, just to let you guys know that this does vibrate a little bit. Now, depending on what kind of car you have, it might not vibrate at all. This is a little bit stiffer suspension, so I'm gonna feel a lot more of the road. It's gonna jump around a little bit. You could just be in your regular Civic sedan and it might not happen. And then here's some footage out during the day from the rear camera. A little bit fishbowl-ish again, but other than that, it looks good. And then here I am driving through a rainstorm. You can see out the back. I mean, it's pouring at this moment. As you can see here from the front footage, I don't use my windshield wipers. I wax my windows, so no need for wipers. It just beads right off, and you can actually see that here in the footage. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, you know what to do. And as always, this was your boy Miller. If you're gonna stick around for the install, I greatly appreciate it. If you're not, I'll see you in the next one. We're going to take this rear camera wire out. We're going to install it. This isn't what I thought it would be. I thought it might be double-sided tape. Take some double-sided tape and leave this bracket on here and just put the tape on this bracket and put it on the window. I need to pop this panel off, which I'm just going to use my fingers. I've already had it off before, so it's not that hard. That's as far as I'm going to go with it. There is a quick disconnect right here. So what I'll do first is I will run this one down underneath. I am going to tuck this up into here and come down over on this side. I want to mount it roughly here. Okay, so after looking at the instructions, that red wire is the red trigger wire for the reverse light. So what I'm going to do for now is I'm just going to tape that wire off, run the wire, plug it in, see if I really need to hook that wire up or not. I'm gonna leave a little bit of wire running from here to here. I don't want to really draw it too awful tight, so I'll leave it a little loose and zip tie all this. All right, so that's how I did it. Left a little bit of wire loose up there, zip tied it down around. So the next thing to do is pull this weather strip off, tuck this wire underneath that weather strip, right in through here, the whole way up to the door. This wire for now, I'll just leave draped down the jamb here. Pull this trim piece back just a little bit, push that wire underneath. Actually, I was able to get my finger back behind there pretty good to tuck it in behind this panel there. So I can put the weather strip back on. So the rear camera looks like it's in a really good spot. The only issue we might have is the spoiler blocking it just a little bit. Yep, the wiring's good, so we're good to go back here. Pull all this weather stripping back, just like I did in the back hatch. Don't need to go very far with it. I'm gonna finish running the wire back in here. And then now that I have this weather strip down, I can tuck this wire up behind the headliner. Then just push the weather strip back up. Nice and neat, all up through here until you get to here. I'm just gonna tuck this wire, do the same thing. Tuck it up under here. Literally, I'm gonna do the same thing that I did in the back here in the front. And you really only need to go this far because you're just gonna go along the headliner. I'm gonna run starting here and run back. And then I'll take all the extra wire that I have and I'll tuck it up in here in the headliner. Take your finger and just push it behind the headliner here. And then once you get to the A-pillar piece, it's an easy just push down on it, tuck it in behind there. But look at how much wire we have left over. I'm gonna run all this extra wire here in the A-pillar. There's a lot more room there than there is up here in the headliner. So I'm just putting the weather strip back on as I'm moving the wire forward so that more wire doesn't fall out in here and I gotta keep tucking it. Now you can pop the panel off if you choose to. I don't like doing that because sometimes they're super hard to get back on. I'd rather just go this route. And just like that, the wiring is done. Here is the end of the wire that we had. And again, if I need to just push a little bit more up there when I get the mirror in, no problem. As you can see, everything is hidden. And then that excess wire back here behind the A-pillar trim. Clean install. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna show you a clip from a couple months ago where I installed the wire for another dash camera. Now if you're like me and have the black plastic piece behind the mirror, pop that down, run the wire up and behind it and push it back on. And if you don't, you should just be able to run it up and it shouldn't be a problem. Tuck it in behind the headliner and then you can pop that A-pillar panel off and tuck it in behind there, push the panel back on. Now for me, I had to pull that side panel piece off the dashboard to get the weather strip off, pulled the panel off and then pulled the weather strip out, tucked all the wire in behind there, pushed the weather strip back on and then popped the panel back on. And then I ran it around up under the dashboard, under the glove box and around the side to plug it into the cigarette lighter. Before we install the mirror, it came with these two little foam sticky pieces. I'm assuming these go on the back of the mirror. That way, when you put it on over top of your factory mirror, it doesn't damage it. I'm not 100% sure. It doesn't say in the instructions. Now, there are two little speakers on either side. I'm gonna put it on the inside of those speakers. Came with 4 little screws too. I'm not sure what those little screws are for. So I put one right there. And I'll put the other one right here. Take the cover off. And that's what it looks like. Is you can use either this top one or this one to grip into this U-shaped bracket, whatever you want to call it. It'll be much easier for me to show you now than in the car. So you just take this end, one or the other, put it in there, wrap it around the mirror, and put it in there, just like so. And then you want to pull the cover off of the lens, and then we'll go install it in the car. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're literally just gonna take this mirror and we're gonna put it right over top of that one. First thing we need to do is put these little rubber things on. Now I'm gonna go to the second one, depending on what size mirror you have. Like if your mirror's fat in the back, you know, you're gonna wanna go to the one. If your mirror's thin like mine, I don't have like the auto tilt and all that stuff, so if you have sensors in the back of your mirror, you should be fine. Nothing should block it. unless it would be one of these little rubber things. If it's one of these little rubber things, then you gotta be a little careful, but other than that, you're good. All right, so let's go over this mirror real quick. You have your front power, your rear power, your SD card, and your GPS. Just make sure that the camera is on the opposite side of the mirror. And now remember, we have those sticky things on the back. I don't know if they'll do anything or not. I think that should be sturdy enough, especially with those two little foam things. Now, we'll really notice it when we're going down the road, but that's the install. Okay, so now it's time to plug everything in. You can tilt the mirror down as far as you can. And first thing we're gonna plug in is the back camera, which we can tuck up here just a little bit because we had a little bit of extra wire. And we will plug that in right there. And then we will take our front cord and we will plug it in right there. Now remember, I talked about the GPS. I'm gonna plug the GPS in, but I'm not gonna install it. I'm probably just gonna sit it right on the dashboard just so we can see everything that goes on. I did plug the GPS in. I have it plugged in up here and it's just sitting here on the dashboard. Now what you wanna make sure you do first is you set the mirror to exactly where you want it. So on that little rubber strap, I went to the second on the bottom as well. That way there is no shaking, or should be very little shaking, I'm hoping.